Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're talking about must-have plugins as a recording engineer to achieve a good sound or good recording or be able to hopefully shape a good product. I think that these plugins are definitely a must-have and you should have them or pick them up at some point when you can. The first one I would say is definitely Auto-Tune. It doesn't matter if you're recording vocals or a band or whatever, because I think, Auto-Tune definitely has a reputation for being a vocal plugin, but people forget that it is a tuning plugin. So you can definitely tune bass, you can tune strings, you can tune instruments, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of people forget that. So I would say definitely Auto-Tune for sure. If not Auto-Tune, I would definitely recommend getting Melodyne at the very least. If I had a choice, I would say get both. The only difference is that obviously Auto-Tune, hence the name Auto-Tune, it's gonna have the feature where what we're used to seeing where it automatically tunes the vocals. Otherwise, you can use like a drawing method like Melodyne is known for. So you can go in, highlight each note of an instrument or a vocal, most likely, and you can literally just mess with the pitch on its own. They're almost neck and neck, but I would still say that Melodyne takes the win for sounding natural. But like I said, you can definitely still do drawing in. If you go to graph mode right here, you can draw in your notes as well. So similar features. The next one I would recommend is definitely some effect plugins. The Valhalla Delay or Valhalla Reverb. They're just super easy to use. You have so many options. They're all 50 bucks. They never raise the price. They never lower the price. They never go on sale, we'll say that, but there's a reason they don't go on sale because they feel like their products are affordable, which they are, 50 bucks. I mean, I would definitely pay like 100 for these if I had to. Hopefully they don't ever do that, but just saying, these sound really good. A top one that everybody should have, especially if you're finishing a mix, it's the Ozone. I have the Ozone Elements. The new ones look way different than this one. This is an older version. I think technically it's like version 9. So this is probably like 5 years old, maybe. If you haven't seen my last video, I go through and talk about how I use this, so you can go check that out. But I would say definitely just have Ozone in general. It's just a good, solid limiter. Obviously, you can see there's an imager and equalizer. If you have the standard or the pro version, you get way more modules that you can mess with and you have way more flexibility. But for me, this works. I like the way it sounds. I mean, if I'm still using the old one, that says a lot already. You know what I mean? So I would definitely check out Ozone. I would say a good metering plugin. It's not necessary, but it is good to have. If you are going to strictly do mastering or something, it's good to understand what these numbers mean. It's good to understand what each of these modules do. Maybe not these, but I would say like maybe like these three. Obviously, your LUFS meter, your loudness meter, your level meter right here, and then your sound field where you want to see how wide your mix is, if stuff is out of phase, if stuff is in phase, blah, blah, blah. A good EQ plugin, in my opinion, the Kirchhoff, can't go wrong with it. The FabFilter, pretty much the same plugin. They do the same thing. I'm not saying specifically get any of these two plugins, but if I had a recommendation and you wanted a really good, solid parametric EQ, I would definitely look at something like the Kirchhoff or the FabFilter, because you can do dynamic EQ, you can do static EQ moves. This one specifically models different EQ units. So like if I go here, I can see that I can do something like a 250. I can do like an SSL style. I can do something like the Moog EQ. And you get a lot of EQ curves, which is kind of nice. And then after that, I would say a solid de-esser. I mean, can't go wrong with the one that's built in Pro Tools, which I do still use, but I've been using the Sonics one a lot. I do recommend it. They give you a lot of options. You can see you have an advanced panel here. You can get into way more detail. It's got a good visual, so you can see those harsh frequencies or S's in this case, or even plosives too. It's pretty good for plosives. And then after that, I would say maybe even a channel strip, something you can track with if you are on the UAD platform. You could use the SSL channel strip to record on the way in and, tap into their Unison technology. I would say get a solid channel strip, something like the UAD or the Plugin Alliance is really good. And then last but not least, I would say probably getting like a good compressor in general. I would recommend something like an LA2A. Pro Tools has a built-in LA2A that's pretty solid. UAD, obviously, probably the most famous. You've probably seen this on multiple videos, or just in general, you've probably seen it all over the internet if you follow a lot of audio stuff. But you can't go wrong with the UAD LA2 collection. I mean, they give you a bunch of them. They gave out a free one like last year or something. So if you didn't get that, you missed out. I would say definitely just get something like an LA2A. It's super easy to use, especially if you're starting off. You don't understand ratios. You don't understand attack and release yet. This is just two knobs. And then other than that, I mean, I would say those are definitely like the ones you should have. You should have some sort of channel strip. You should have some sort of EQ, a compressor you can trust, a good reverb and delay that you can trust, and that's super easy to use, especially while you're tracking. You don't want something too crazy. Last but not least, probably a good limiter. Oh, and then the tuning ones, the auto tune and or Melodyne or Waves Tune. Short video. Just wanted to kind of go through that, get some of my 2 cents out there on that. But if you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, and check out my other videos. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.